This is a Symposium podcast with E. Wright and Romero.
All right, we back.
Damn, it's so high.
That's okay. Not only are we back, we back in E's crib, aka the Lookout.
We are back.
Yeah.
We are back.
On the right side of the couch, let the people know who you are, sir.
Go by the name E. Wright. What up, y'all? What's going on?
Yeah. I'm here as well. Romero, aka Winter Coat Roams. This will actually probably be the last episode that Winter Coat Roams is around.
It's getting nice out.
It's warm out, so I'm gonna have to switch up the name.
Gigi is here also.
Yeah.
Gigi, say what up.
Long time no see.
All right. What up, girl?
There is a gentleman in the middle of us. E, who's next to us here?
We have a special guest today. Special guest.
Mm-hmm.
One of my great friends. Consider him a brother. You know what I mean? You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, what up? Thank you for having me, guys. My name is Mr. D, Nathaniel Davis. Call me Nathaniel. Some people call me Nate. I've known these fellas for a couple of years now, like a long time now.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute, man. But I'm glad to be joining you guys, man. Thank you for having me.
We got a lot of stories, man. We got a lot.
We're not telling
We
that
not
today.
You're not gonna say everything.
Oh, not today.
Like,
We'll
come
say
on,
that.
man.
We'll
You
say
never
that.
know my mama will see this, you know?
We'll say that.
All right.
Say that one for another time. But
All right then. Well, let's toast it up, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the party.
welcome to the Symposium, brother.
All right.
What we sipping on?
Woo!
Ooh.
12 age. Red breast. It's really good, though.
Yeah,
It's dangerously
that's
good.
strong. That's
I'm
good.
drinking kombucha. In case y'all wonder.
That's strong right there.
And, yeah, it creeps up on you.
Bro, man, what's going on, bro?
Chilling.
Check in. How you feeling?
Chilling, my guy. Chilling. I'm good, man. It's nice to be here with y'all.
It's a beautiful day, man.
The vibes are right.
Yeah.
The vibes are right today.
We actually got kicked out of the Red Room today. 'Cause
Hey,
they set up a fucking party. But
to the guy that kicked us out because he trying to decorate a party. Fuck you. I respect
yeah.
that you asked, but
yeah.
that's
But
our spot, man.
It made this vibe better though.
We gotta go
I
check
like-
it out. He better have a dope ass
Oh, yeah,
setup
better
because
go.
he kicked us out for a party that starts at 5.
Yeah.
Saying he wants to decorate, so he better be the
It better
dopest
be
decoration we ever seen. I'm just saying.
Go down there for a slice of cake, like, all right, this ain't bad. This ain't bad.
Yeah. No, it was bullshit.
What about you, E? How you doing?
I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of just crazy times right now. You know, just dealing with like family stuff. But you know, we getting through it.
I saw your story on Instagram, and I was
Yeah.
gonna reach out. You good?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm better. You know, just
Back
tough,
and better.
tough loss for the family, but you know, we just gotta keep going. Gotta keep this life, man. You know, it's life. We just gotta keep rolling with it. You know.
Dean Davis, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'm good. Rolling with the punches, bro. We're back in the building.
Yeah.
With the kiddos.
Yeah.
I miss them, so it's good to see them. But we also talking going full everybody back in April 6th, right after spring break.
Oh
They're bringing everybody back. You ask me, it's a dumbass idea, but I don't make the big money to make the decision.
And
You know?
I think that makes more sense to do it after spring break.
Mhm.
We had a meeting yesterday, and we are bringing kids 4 days a week on March 15th. So a week before spring break.
A week. So why can't you just wait till after spring break though?
I do not know. I
Yeah.
do not make those decisions.
Yeah, brother. I'm in the same boat with you. We'll
But
just go with it.
doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But, all right.
But it's good. It's good.
All right. Let's check in. Should we get into the news?
Let's get into it, man.
Oh, I'm tripping. Historic figures first.
Oh, yes. You're right.
My bad. This is the last week too.
Yeah.
This is the last week of Black History
Black
Month.
History
It
Month.
is, man. It's been
As
quite
you
a
can see, I
month.
came in all black. You know.
See it,
Yeah, I
man.
see you, man.
Damn,
Except your shoes, blood.
Hey, got the blood a little bit. No, I'm kidding. No, I came in all black, brother. Ready to roll.
All right.
Want to start here?
Yeah, I can kick it off. For my historical figure this week, I chose Dr. Mark Dean. He's a computer science engineer that helped develop like a numerous landmarks or technologies like the color PC monitor, IBM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still living, still with us.
Still with us.
Yeah, he should be 63 years of age, right?
Oh, he's young.
Yeah. So, computer scientist, and engineer, he helped develop technologies for IBM, including the color PC, the first gigahertz chip. He holds 3 of the company's original 9 patents, which is crazy. He also invented the industry standard architect system bus and engineer Dennis Moeller, allowing for computer plugins such as disk drives and printers. All right, so
What's this man's net worth?
yeah,
He got
exactly.
money.
He gotta have money.
Yeah,
It's gotta be money, man.
Just crazy. He went to Stanford University, Florida, Atlantic University, University of Tennessee. Just dope, man. Like,
Great thing.
just crazy. It's like that's groundbreaking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
It's like, especially like IBM, like that should go back. You know what I mean?
Anything computer related to the,
So,
your stack.
Right.
Yeah.
Just it's a black man, doing it. So
Shout out to
that's-
that man.
That's super dope. But
I like that you're giving him his props while he's
Yeah.
alive.
Oh,
Without waiting for
absolutely.
him to die before we say he was a great man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Dr. Dean.
All right. Funny that you did someone that's alive still. I did the same.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with the psychology.
Mm-hmm.
The person that I chose is Robert Lee Williams.
Okay.
He was a founding member of the National Association of Black Psychologists and served as its second president. He created the Black Intelligence Test of Cultural Homogeneity. Oh, I'm fucking up. Homogeneity? By utilizing African American vernacular and personal experience. This test showed that African Americans weren't intellectually inferior to European Americans, but the differences in speech and experience can skew IQ results. Also, he created the term Ebonics to refer to the African American vernacular English. So basically, this is the dude that established Ebonics. You know how we were talking about Tiger Woods and how from the perspective, like, he's not black?
Yeah.
Part of that is just the way that we talk to one another and stuff. So this guy discovered when it comes to like the tests that we have, IQ tests and stuff,
Yeah.
we're not, our black people, they're not stupid. They just have a difficult time understanding the language that's written on a test.
Yeah.
Because it's written a certain way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you think about the education, which we're going to talk about. If you, like let's say you don't get enough education, right? Let's say you started kindergarten and then you stop at 6th grade, right? And then you take a certain test. Someone that continues their education, they're going to understand the language that's written.
Yeah.
But someone that doesn't, if they were to read that, they'd be like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to mention going back to language itself, how we talk, right?
Yeah.
We can see one another and be like, "What's good, nigga? How you doing?"
Yeah.
Imagine if you did that in the suburbs,
Right.
like the deep suburbs.
Yeah.
It'd be a completely different thing.
Right.
So that's that's the person I chose.
It's crazy.
Robert
that you
Lee
said
Williams?
that. Crazy that you say, imagine if you do it in the suburbs. Even within black people, to imagine when some black people make it up, you could switch so hard.
Yeah.
And when you come back, you have to switch yourself. Like you said, what's up, my nigga? Some black people are like,
What?
excuse me?
Right.
Who are you talking to? Like, but it's crazy.
Sir, I do not appreciate how you talk. What the fuck
What
are you talking about?
That's how I said, what's up, bro?
You one of us.
Yeah. Did you?
That's it.
Yes.
That's 6 store figures. Those are the last 2. That's it. Let's get into the news.
Okay, good. The volume is.
Me?
Oh, it's on my thing though, so I don't know why it's doing that. But
Okay. Well.
we got the
apparently-
backup. So.
Oh yeah, we got a backup.
Yeah.
Apparently, vocals is really, really loud this time around, but we got an extra mic.
Speaking of Tiger Woods, he was in a car crash this week.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, a terrible car
That
crash.
was actually gonna be my news. So.
Yeah.
We start all right. We're starting off right.
He had to be like taken out of the windshield. Like they couldn't even open the door.
And
It's
that,
constant.
yeah, like that's crazy
Yeah.
you brought him up because
Yeah.
that's exactly like it was. What are you doing? Why are you messing with that?
Gigi trying to check out the camera.
What's wrong?
She not getting enough screen time.
Yeah, you get in there. What was this? What's the status of his injuries?
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it was bad, bro.
So
He went straight to surgery, kind of deal too.
yeah, like he had to be. So what like look at this. You had to fall asleep, right?
I guess.
Like you had to.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't really, what caused it, I don't really know.
Right.
All I know is that they just, because I was at the gym and
Mm-hmm.
they just started blasting on the screen his face. So normally developing news, you like,
Yeah.
did he,
Mhm.
in this day and age, after 2020, you're like, did he die?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, so is he dead?
So Woods was driving shortly after 7 a.m. In Rancho Palos Verdes when the SUV he was using crossed a median and went across 2 lanes of road before hitting the curb, hitting a tree and landing on his side off the road in the brush. No other vehicles were involved. Woods needed to be extricated from his vehicle by a rescue crew using a pry bar and an axe, according to LA County Fire Chief.
Shit.
He was driving downhill on a winding road in the area known for as a trouble spot for speeding and accidents. Gigi.
Not GG.
You had to come up with
Right.
She had to.
Yeah, so they don't know the estimated speed at the time, but it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, that's insane.
He's doing okay so far. I think they moved him too, but he's like,
Yeah.
man, he got you worried when you see, when you look at the car, you're like, did he survive?
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, it's a shock to hear what happened. But I mean, y'all remember what? I can't remember. It was like a couple of years back when he got pulled over.
When he got a DUI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a DUI?
Like pills, wasn't it? Like.
Yeah,
he ended up
on pills.
I think he fought the DUI, but he got something. But he was, you see his face. He was.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
He wasn't
Yeah.
there, bro.
So that's just fucked up, man. So like, you had to have fallen asleep though. Somehow, like, I don't know. I guess more to come from it. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, he's a public figure, so they're gonna
Yeah.
put his whole business on blast anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
all you gotta do is wait to hear his whole business out there.
Tiger, I hope you make it, man.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about you.
Right. He's been at least 3 episodes.
3 episodes
3
deep.
episodes, man.
Hope you make it, man.
We're rooting for you, big fella.
For real.
Hang in there.
All right. Anything else?
What you got?
I got a few things, my man. I got a few things.
Okay, let's hear it.
First thing I got is Kanye and Kim.
Oh yeah.
They're getting divorced.
That's yeah. That's not surprising, but it's
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring it up. I called it years ago.
I called it years ago.
The minute that they decided to tell the world that they're together, I'm like, oh, they're getting divorced.
yeah. That's crazy. I didn't expect it though. Well, I don't know for
I
some
did.
reason. But
I did.
I guess once he started wilding out, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
That's probably fucking her brand.
That's the other thing though. So everybody's going to blame him because he's the one that most recently is wilding out.
That's true.
Like everybody's gonna
But
tend
we
to
don't
put
know.
the
Yeah.
and that's not only that, but we also people are gonna also forget that this is Kim's third marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm not dogging her. It's just like they both have their demons, but for the most of it, at this divorce, Kanye's gonna take the hit for it. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, Kanye, we won the win world. You went crazy. It's like, well, we all knew that a long time ago. She knew that.
Did you know?
Yeah, you agree with that? Okay, GG. Let's see, this comes from E.T. Kim cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for their split, and the date of separation is listed as TBD. According to their prenup, all assets and obligations of each party are his separate property. Kim is also asking the court to terminate its ability to award spousal support to either party. A source previously told ET that there is no drama between 40-year-old Kim and 43-year-old Kanye, while another source noted that their divorce has been a long time coming. You goddamn right. It's been in the making for a good minute.
Yeah, man.
You know what?
I told y'all niggas.
What?
Well, I didn't tell none of y'all, but I thought before this podcast, I knew it was gonna happen. So I told y'all.
What is this with Hollywood and irreconcilable differences? What is it? Every one of their marriages, when they terminated or divorced, that's what they always put on it.
Like, how come you couldn't reconcile some
Oh, why can't you specify what it is you can't reconcile? God damn it. What can't you reconcile?
Didn't we talk? We talked about this. I told you. Yeah. If I was ever a celebrity, I could not date another celebrity because there's too much shit.
It is.
It's too much.
But so you could just would you be able to date like a I guess a civilian, but like
civilian.
I mean, like what do you call like just a non-human celebrity? Like a celebrity, non-celebrity.
A human, you mean?
Yeah, like a
my man is
person.
looking for an award for human beings right now.
You just go out his house. Hey, girl, you on Instagram?
Say, hey,
How many
civilian.
followers you got?
Say, hey, civilian, what up? Where the hoes at?
But the problem though, once you, as a celebrity, once you marry somebody, they become a celebrity too.
That's true.
In a
But-
sense.
In a sense, they get your fame gets they get all
But
that.
they still
extra.
low key. Okay, here's an example. Look at Tiger Woods' ex's wife, or excuse me, Tiger Woods'
Ex-wife,
ex-wife. You never really heard about her.
Right.
The only thing that you really heard is that she's a mom and she got cheated on.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't know nothing about her. You don't know nothing about her personal life, who her family
Until
is.
the doc came on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's low key living.
Yeah.
So,
True. I guess it could happen. It could happen.
but I think you have to be.
But I think with that lifestyle though, like, could they get used to that lifestyle? Like, if you happen to be gone a lot, you depending on what you do, I guess.
That's a fair question.
Or just you being in the spotlight, could they handle that? I guess that depends on who you end up with. Like, can
It also could be like your class too. Their class, like you know how they get class A, class B, celebrity, C, D.
True.
If you're A class, I feel like whoever you with is in that mess with you now. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like
Yeah.
you ain't gonna get no privacy, nothing. Let's take
That's where you at.
Beyonce can't go date no regular dude, and we all be like, nah. Everybody wants to know what do this regular dude have that I don't have that I can't be with me,
Right.
kind of deal. But other than that, it's like.
I think it's just a bracket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that even within themselves, there's a bracket. The D class, ain't nobody care about who you're dating. You're cool. You can do whatever you want.
But the higher you are,
The higher you are, everybody wants to know your business. Like they ain't let LeBron, like his wife, as more low-key as she's known by a lot of people who needs to know her
Yeah.
because she's doing other things.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So,
Steph Curry, Aisha Curry.
Aisha Curry started out quietly. Now she's a brand of her
Yeah.
own. She's
Yeah.
doing her own
She
thing.
really is.
Yeah, she
That's how
literally
you gotta
ventured
do it,
out.
man.
Like,
That's really how you gotta do it.
yeah.
You know?
All right, so that's Kim and Kanye, and our thoughts on celebrities. Next in the news, Bobby Schmurder is out.
Yes.
The streets is going wild.
Yes.
Freedom of.
Bobby Schmurder was released from New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision earlier this week, concluding a 6-year stint after being charged with conspiracy to murder, possession of weapons, and reckless endangerment. He was originally scheduled for release in December, but became eligible for conditional early release on parole as a result of good behavior and will remain under community supervision in Kings County until February 23rd, 2026. Bobby Schmurder out. Album's gonna drop soon. You're gonna hear new music.
But
They
then
about to go crazy. Bro.
he's on probation for how long?
Rowdy Rebel. Rowdy
2026.
Rebel home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rowdy Rebel home too.
Yup. He
So-
got out before Bobby.
Yeah. 6 years. Was it 6 years?
7.
7 years.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. He held it down.
Oh no, 6. Yeah.
They held it down, man. That's
It's
supposed
crazy
to do,
because
bro.
they got one big hit came out and then he went in.
Oh, it was,
Nah,
it was
it was-
non-stop. It was,
Yeah.
it was hot, nigga. It was.
Yeah,
Bobby
like
bitch.
that. Their album
Computer.
came out
Yeah.
and then it was like at some point in time you're like, do I want this fame anymore, bro? Like,
Apparently, in another article, he said he started to take rap a little more serious
Mm.
because he was getting fan mail non-stop.
Yeah.
So imagine that you got a couple songs out and people love them. You go in and people still write you like,
Yeah.
"Yo, man, I so fucking love this song."
Right.
but this is the power of hip hop and black culture though. he went in for 6 years and stayed relevant while he was in. From memes, gifts, everything.
solid.
This man was still represented.
He was
Came out with a
solid,
gold
bro.
chain
Yeah.
and a helicopter, bro.
Bro.
Like, he didn't have to wait for nobody to pick him up on the
Yeah.
other side of the gate. He came out in a
Right.
helicopter, like.
That was the same with Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Mills got flown right to the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like-
it's the culture, bro.
As the culture is changing.
It's the culture.
So, welcome
It's good
home,
to
Bobby.
see. Yeah, man.
I'm sure you having a great time.
Bro, them songs charted like ASAP, bro. Like
Yeah.
again, like ASAP when he got. Man, I know I was playing that shit. Like,
Did y'all see-
everywhere.
Did y'all see the meme or the video of his
The
hat
hat finally
in
came
his
out.
face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then he dropped.
The hat has finally landed. Crazy, bro.
God. And last but not least,
Sleepy.
what do I got for
You
you?
so
From the New
spoiled.
Yorker, Daft Punk. That group has finally retired. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
disbanded. Y'all know who Daft Punk is?
I know of them.
I know of them, but
Yeah, like I'm not familiar.
So it's a French duo group. They started in 1993,
Yeah.
and they dropped a few projects. You've heard songs from them because they've
Yeah.
done collabs with like The Weeknd,
Yep.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
You know Kanye West's song "Stronger."
Yeah.
They're on that. They helped Kanye make that song, but Kanye sampled that
Oh.
originally.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I've been listening to them since I was like a kid. So
Yeah.
when they broke up, I was like, oh God, why?
Damn. Yeah.
Earlier this week, Guy Manuel de Homan Cristo and Thomas Bengater, I'm sorry if I butcher your names, otherwise known as the French electric duo Daft Punk, announced that they were disbanding after 28 years of releasing music together.
Damn.
Daft Punk lay at the center of their own universe, popularizing dance music to audiences who may not have cared, while still maintaining their roots in underground dance scenes that scorned outside approval. In the 2000s, their manager, Pedro Winter, branched off to found the Paris label Ed Banger Records, which expanded the Daft Punk diaspora, pushing dance music toward a kind of headbanging excess. So 2013, y'all remember Get Lucky with Pharrell? They
Yeah.
made that.
Oh, okay.
That was
Okay.
them. And they won Album of the Year for that.
Damn.
So they were doing their thing.
Oh, absolutely. So Daft Punk, great music. Fucking miss you already. I'm probably play that whole album.
So they just retired, like they just done.
They're done. They're done.
Okay.
What's great about them is they're known for like wearing these masks.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That's why.
So them retiring, no one would even know who they are on the
Yeah.
street.
Right.
They could go into a grocery store, no one would know.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that, like you getting checked out and be like, I'm one of the greatest motherfuckers you know, but you don't even know.
But okay, so funny with that is, have you seen the videos of Tony Hawk like doing that, like or like going to a drive-thru or something, like people just not knowing who he is. Like,
Mm-mm.
he
Not
was
that
like,
many people know
he
who
was-
Tony Hawk is.
but you should though.
Yeah, you should, but
You
not
should.
that many people do.
Yeah, and it's like probably more younger.
Mhm.
But it's just funny. Like he make fun of it though. Like,
Yeah.
it's super funny though. But like just like you said, like you won't even know who Daft Punk is. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did see a video a while back of Tony Hawk going up to kids saying, do a kickflip.
Yeah, he's passing them out.
Yeah.
Like passing them out stuff.
So yeah, that's the news. That's news to me.
Yeah.
Quite the segment.
Right.
So now, I guess we should get into this. Dean Davis, you here. Can you tell people a little about yourself, my man?
Oh, let's see. Like you said, I'm a dean at one of the ASIO school districts here in the Twin Cities. I've been in the school for almost 10 years, man.
Yeah.
Oof. I started as a ESP in a level 3 room. Worked my way to after school coordinator, after school manager. I ran the supervisor. I ran the after school program for about 2 or 3 years. After that, I just figured that it was time for me to do some more. I'm also a huge mental health person. I think I'm hoping by the end of this summer, I'll have my actual license from the state of Minnesota. I'm
Really?
studying for my boards right now to be a licensed marriage and family therapist. I thought about that. It's like after everything that's going on for 2020 now, mental health is the biggest thing that I'm seeing in my schools. My kids are like more suicide ideation, more anxiety, more fear of the unknown, because they're used to us telling them what's happening, and we didn't have any answers for ourselves, let alone for them. So yeah, right now I do 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, man. I spend a lot of time with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
And
you won't believe.
it's just for you saying 10, you know, it's been almost 10 years, like, bro, just remember when we first started, like,
man.
like to see where you at now, like I'm like a teacher now, like you're a dean, you know what I mean, just to see where,
How far y'all come.
yeah, like we both were, we started at Osseo, just like you said, ESPs, I was 101, and you know, just, man, I remember making that trek from White Bear Lake to Osseo.
We used to carpool, and then the snow get us so hard, man.
Yeah.
We'd be so late.
We'd
be getting to school at like almost time for lunch.
And our friend, Laura is the one that,
man.
yeah, our friend Laura the one that got the job. So every time we late, she just looking at us like, man, what the hell?
And no mind, she's just going, this nigga's
yeah. I'm like, and we
he
wasn't
ain't
trying
taking
to
nowhere.
we wasn't trying to be. And then, you know, so after that, like, he stuck with the Osseo district, and I went to the Fritley, you know. So I've been doing the para there for a while, behavior, one of the behavior specialists, and then just to be teaching, bro. It's just dope. Every time we talk about it, it's dope to see how far we came, bro.
The
like,
progress, man.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey, and it's a journey, and it's a journey that we needed to do, so kids can see that it can be done. Like kids that look like us. You don't have to dribble the ball. Like, you can be smart. It's not a crime to be smart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, we still hear people say, you're talking white. I get offended when I hear people telling black kids that they sound white. Like, what are you talking about? So they can't sound educated because they're black? Are you trying to, like, and I know so many black educated brothers and sisters out here. So it's
You
like,
and I have had that conversation.
it's one of those things that just buzz to me. So I'm encouraging my students right now, like, sure, if you, whatever you want to be, you can be it. It's 1. 2, but don't limit yourself saying you need to hoop or catch a ball or do something for you to be relevant in this world, in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
One of the biggest differences, for me, I was born and raised in Africa.
Like, what you gonna have when that's over?
When that's over,
you can't hoop no more. You can't
yeah.
take the football or catch a.
Where I'm from in Africa, like, we didn't have people hooping or making it through that way. People made it through book. Like, if you were smart enough to go to college and graduate, we were like, ooh, you about to make that money. Like, so it's different. So I hope kids can see that and be like, nah, it's not one way to get out.
Right.
It's any way that you want, you can do it.
All right, so funny that you even talk about kids, because this is why we wanted you on the show in the first place. And you and I have had this conversation off the podcast, but talking about the graduation rate of African American students now, bring up some quick statistics from Minnesota schools, worst in the nation for children of color. Minnesota's 2016 to 17 graduation rates for African Americans and Hispanic students placed us 50th among the 50 states. Our graduation rates for Native American students ranked 49th out of 50. The national graduation rate for black students was 77.8%. However, Minnesota's graduation rate was 64.8%, which placed us behind every other state in the U.S. You, as another man in education, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you see? Even though you're with the juniors, like you with the little ones, you can see the trajectory.
And so one of the first things with that is, like, it's easier to see why that statistics is legit, because let's say, for example, I'm gonna give you one example. When we do this state test that declares you this part or that part, it's not fair to black kids in any way, shape, or form. Like, the preparation for them is not there. And like you were saying, the man that invented Ebonics, look at it that way. So kids are smart, but black kids have to code switch so much. They have to learn how to be around their white peers for them to just a survival instinct,
Yeah.
which is one of the things that we are frowning upon huge in our school. Like, we're trying to teach them be you at all time.
Yeah.
Like, but what does that look like? It's easy for me to say because it's easy for me to say now because I arrived at that position.
Right.
When I started, I had to code switch too at the same time in the beginning. The problem with that statistics is not only because of the testing that's not done equally. It's like, take the schools the different schools. What are the supplies that they have? What are the books that these kids have to use? Like, I worked at Northeast Middle School. I counseled there as a therapist. I did my 2-year stint there for while pull kids and have a therapy session with them. Walking through that school from 8 to like 10:30, 11 before I go back to Maple Grove, just even the environment and the supplies were not the same. Like, I'll leave Northeast and these kids barely even have the materials to be in class. And then I'll go to ASIO and the books are just stacked up.
Yeah.
I look at our library and then I'll come back to this one. It's like, I got to see both worlds. It's like, Maple Grove, the parents and their taxes and everything, is like, this is where that zoning thing comes into. When you cut off the zoning and then you start saying, oh, how we need to distribute federal funds for things, all that is affected. But I also feel like Minnesota, our educational system, we keep bragging that we have a good educational system. It's not complete.
Sure.
It got a lot of loopholes in it.
So since you say that there are some loopholes, what are some holes that you see?
I think the mental health distribution is greatly unbalanced. Let me give you an example. When we talk in our SAT meeting is where we bring kids who are struggling or who have difficulties at home, things like that.
Yeah.
When we have conversation in our SAT meeting, it's amazing for me to hear the description of the kids' problems and how different they describe it. So you have a social worker, for example, say stuff like, this white kid is having a mental health issue. But when it comes to the black kid, they go straight to, this is a behavioral issue. So you demonizing one person while you're trying to help the other person. We spend a lot of time checking black kids' behaviors that we fall short of actually checking the educational gap that they have already. Oh, he's rude, he's this, he's that. It's like, I would be upset too if I didn't eat all day long, and then you here telling me to pay attention. I'm dying of hunger. Like,
I'm going through it.
I'm going through it. You don't know it. That's why representation comes. Like, I can put some of my boys in my office. Like, when they start acting, I'm like, "What's your deal, man? What's going on with you?" And I have a conversation with them. Versus when some of the white teachers pull them aside, it's like, he's just being disrespectful. That power trip just kicks in. Like, you're missing a whole.
So that was
chunk.
like, that was kind of my role when I was doing the behavior stuff. So I was in like our ISS room. You know what I mean? So, and then they kind of like, I collect the data of like who's in, like I keep track of who's in there, and it was a majority are black students. You know what I mean? And so then, you know, it's kind of like, oh, that teacher don't like me. Like, not saying it's always the teacher's fault. But I think the teachers put like their patience is so like they're just so quick to send kids out. And I feel like we need to keep kids in the classroom. You know what I mean? Like sending them out.
So when you say we need to keep them, that's what we're doing in our building right now. We have a pushing system. For the past 2 years, we've been adopting the pushing system. The pushing system involves like, unless it's absolutely disruptive to every other kid and you cannot teach or that kid can calm down, you're not supposed to send them out.
Right.
What is the use of you sending them out? They're missing a whole class. Because what do they learn? So we will come up there as an administrator and we will pull the kid out for a little bit, chat with them, or we will take over your class and you just tell the class what to do, and you can come outside and mediate and have that conversation with the kid. But then the end goal is to bring that kid back into your room. It makes the whole point of them. Kids miss a lot of instructional time even when they're within the building. Like, they can be in that building and probably didn't even learn but one thing that whole day, because teachers are like, oh, he's being disruptive. The number one term, they're disruptive to the classroom environment. They use that like religiously. Like, we don't agree with it now. So it's like, that's their leeway to say, get out.
Right.
We have some amazing teachers who have learned equitable solutions, like
And
getting to know kids,
yeah, so
and that's the problem.
in
like,
our building,
get to know
in
it.
our building, we're starting to, you know, build that culture for us with our teachers. Like we do a lot of E&I with equity and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of that. Some people like it is kind of like repetitive at some points, but it's like we need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to just learn how to, you know, work with each other, work with the kids, be more like, you know, just be more aware of, you know, it could be like this kid might be having an off day, but this could be why. Like
Mhm.
what happened? You don't know what happened before he walked in that building. You know what I mean? Like
It's bigger than them.
some
Yeah.
kids literally only come to school to eat. You know, like I've had students like that. Like they only come to school just so they can eat.
Trying to
They
support.
get breakfast,
Yeah.
lunch. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, it's just tough, bro. Like you never know.
And speaking of them coming to school to eat, let's give a shout out to the Black Panther organization, because they started the breakfast and lunch, which a lot of people don't know, because they put the Black Panther in this level of this
Yeah.
terroristic group.
Yeah.
Black Panther organization started the breakfast and lunch program in schools, like in in their neighborhoods, which later on the government adopted and put into the schools.
Mm.
Yeah.
So shout out to Black Panther Foundation. You guys are doing your thing. You did your thing, and
Yeah.
we just gotta keep pushing. But it's like you said. So I don't see a reason why, if a kid is in your classroom, they're misbehaving, put them outside for 1 or 2 minutes. Say, hey, get yourself together. If you need a break,
Yeah.
then come back in.
Take a
Okay.
break, you know.
But if you keep kicking them out, they feel they're not welcome.
They don't feel
anymore.
targeted.
They don't feel
targeted.
welcome
They-
anymore.
Yeah, you know.
I got kids who are hiding, and it's just one class that they don't want to go to. But then this teacher don't think it has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree, it may not happen, but like at some point in time you bump heads. So restorative conversations coming. Let's have a restorative conversation. I'm teaching our students that I'm not talking for you, but also you're not talking disrespectfully to nobody.
Yeah.
You can make your needs known without being rude or disrespectful. Like, but again, we haven't taught our kids how to talk. And some grown-ups, like the moment kids say how they feel, how dare you? Like, whoa, calm down, man. Like you ask them how they feel, hear them out.
Yeah.
You don't need to agree with them.
Right.
Well, it goes a long way for somebody, anybody, to just be like, I'm listening to you, man. What's up?
That's it.
That's the
Okay.
first part. But that statistic surprised the heck out of me though, because I've been thinking our school system is really good.
Yeah, because that's what they push. That's what they push out there to us. You know what I mean? But that ain't. It's that just the surface level shit. Like
The school
it
thing
get
is
way
deep,
deeper than
bro.
that.
It's
Yeah,
deep.
it's
Like
way deeper.
bro, we
than that.
work down
especially with
the
African
school
Americans.
system. It's so deep because one, what are the materials that you're teaching, and how interested are your kids in that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you me for example. They made us read Jane Eyre in middle school. Like really?
Oh, sure. The common books that you would have to
Yeah.
read are Jane Eyre,
Uh,
Catcher in the Rye.
Great
Read
Gatsby.
that,
Yeah.
Great Gatsby. Read
But
that.
again,
What's that? What is that?
what does that do for me?
Yeah.
Fast forward to freshman year of high school, I got to read Things Fall Apart. Chinua Achebe, African author. I was starstruck, like what? Like
Yeah.
I relate to because he talks about villages.
Yeah.
I'm from Africa where I know villages exist. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're talking about Great Gatsby and all this money, like, okay, that world is far fetched from me.
Yeah.
I can't
It's not
comprehend
your
what
audience.
we're talking about. Like, books are meant for me to get lost in them. I get that, but how lost am I trying to get out of reality? Like,
And that's a big thing with like the history we being taught. You know,
Man.
that's being taught. Like that shit.
the
gotta
selective
change.
one that they're teaching
That
in our
shit
school.
has to change. That curriculum has to change.
Did you see that there was a state that allowed kids to opt out of Black History Month?
Like
Really?
Bro.
No, how does
They-
that work?
They find, I swear to God, white people wake up every day saying like, how racist can we be today? Like, sometimes it comes up that way. You know what I mean? Like, for you to say, for that to be pushed to a board of directors, for you to even consider that you can opt out of Black History Month. Like, so can we opt out of the whole history then? I'm sorry, like, what if I don't want to hear your white side of things? They said the victors always write the history books, so they make it seem as if they were, nah. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I have a question. To hear that there's a school that lets people opt out, that teachers have that they can do that?
the board said that they can do that, and it's like this whole mess. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get a pushback now because their whole thing got leaked into the media. So now everybody is on them. But it's like black kids have never been able to just say, "Hey, I don't want to learn about Christopher Columbus or anybody." Like, I'm good. Like, no. And if they don't want to pay, 2 years ago, I had some seniors, 8th grade kids who were very like enlightened for their age. That to the point where they had a problem with what they were being taught, and they were very smart kids. They were not causing no disruption, but they came down and they're like, we don't feel included. We don't feel like we are 2 mixed girls and a couple of black girls and then a Hispanic kid. They're like, we just don't feel like this talks to us. Like, like where's my culture and all this that you're doing? It's like, I'm here being forced to speak like you, act like you.
Right.
It's like, what does that? They take that to the principal. It was welcome, but of course you have some teachers who are offended. Like, they're coming at my teaching lifestyle. Calm down. Nobody said that. What are you teaching them? So it's the school system in Minnesota. I was under the impression that we were good. Like we got a really good system, but graduation rates like that, nah. That's one of the reasons why I can also not work. I can't work in the high school. I feel like at high school you start treating them more like grown-ups. If you don't go to class, you don't go to class. It's your grade. While in my building as a middle school now, I have interventions that I put to keep you in class, to bring you back to class. I can make sure you go on a no pass list, which means your boy ain't going to the no bathroom or anything. Use the bathroom before you get to that class, because once you're in there, you ain't going nowhere. Like, I believe that if you're in there, something will stick in your head at some point in time. But if you're not even in there, what are you learning? So I cannot do high school yet. I give props to the people who can, because they do touch our kids. They do reach out and help them figure it out later on, if even it's in junior year or senior year. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm so hands-on, like, I want you to succeed. I'm like, you're not skipping class, bro. Like, to do what? Yeah.
For those of you who are listening or even watching the podcast right now, I want y'all to understand something. First off, we are not racist. We're not racist, not in the least. We know tons of people of different colors and different cultures. But we can't stress enough what's going on, not only with education in itself, but what's going on in our own backyard, in our state. Understand something. My man graduated with a sociology degree. My man over here, master's in psychology. Me, I'm in psychology, still working on that. If someone were to see 3 of us together, it's almost rare. It's like, oh, you see 3 educated black men and trying to make a difference.
Right.
So that's why we touch on this, not just because it's Black History Month. And plus, we've been talking about education for a good minute.
Like, this should be.
And the calculated statistics that you're talking about involves white kids. So our educational system is failing everybody because if that statistic says 68 point something
but
percent,
ours just stand out more. You know what I mean?
We broadcasted more.
Yeah,
we are way more broadcast. We like the 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock news. We are on that every time. That's why when we speak about it, we speak it this way. He's right. We're not racist. Like, we got you, but
I'm not racist.
At some point in time, we gotta talk about it. Yeah, and one thing I'm learning lately too is like, I think we've had a lot of conversations in all the years. Malcolm X, Dr. King, they've had all these conversations, and that's great. I think we're past the conversation part. Now we need reforms, things to be that can make that changes instead of just talk about it.
Sure.
I'm offended that I have to teach people how to talk to me or treat me as a black man.
That's my only issue.
I'm offended
right now. What I'm going through, like I told you, we do the whole restorative and the E&I stuff. And that's my whole like having to teach people how to treat me. It's like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and they make it seem like it's so far-fetched that racism was here.
Treat me like I treat you. Treat me like a human, right? Treat me like a
That's
civilian.
how we grew up.
You know
like,
what I mean?
Treat somebody the same way you want them to treat you.
Yeah.
And my son is the same thing. I'm explaining to him, like, when he do something, I'm like, if somebody did that to you, how would you feel?
Right.
Not good? Okay. So what makes you think that you feel good right now that you did that? Like, but again, those are the conversations I think we need to have more. but we've had a lot of conversations. I think now we need more actions. Like,
Mhm.
what are you guys going to do in the schools? Like, how about you distribute resources for schools to have the same opportunities, technology-wise, books, like, and kids who go home, send them with iPads and chargers. Consciously ask them to charge those iPads before they leave, because you don't know how many of them have electricity when they get home. Those are small things that we can do that we don't even think about. Ask them when they leave for the weekend. We do this lunch thing now this year in the all of 2020, which is amazing way they pack a whole weekend lunch for kids and send them with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, what light bulb, boom. You know how many kids would have helped if we've been doing this forever?
Right.
Yeah.
Like
It took a pandemic for us to get there.
Yeah, I was gonna say when the pandemic started, we were giving out lunches, but then they would give a breakfast out for in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So they would always have a breakfast in the morning when they come pick up their lunch.
It's
for the next
small
day.
things, bro. It's
Yeah.
the very small things are the ones that make a difference. Make sure they have Chromebooks. Make sure they have the books. And make sure what you're teaching them speaks to them. And if it doesn't really speak to them, find a way to relate it to them. Like, let it relate to them. Like, hey, it's like this. Like, I saw a math teacher in a video explaining something, and he did it with, like, playing dice. He broke it down to the dice when they were playing dice, and kids are like, oh!
Yeah.
And it's like, not everybody will understand it that way, but that's the neighborhood that he's in.
Yeah.
But it's one way. You can't just think that all kids are gonna learn the
The
same
same.
way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. That's
But
true.
no.
All right. Well, pour up a little more.
Yeah,
Go
man.
ahead.
Got me dedicated and hot now.
We're gonna take
This is a
quick
great
break.
conversation, though.
Great conversation.
Quick break. Quick break.
That statistic is crazy to me, bro. Like, I heard you guys say it, but it's like, I was reading it like, we 50?
It's heavy, bro.
That shit don't see well. The other piece to that I think we're not doing in schools is mental health.
It's funny that you said that because I was gonna ask you guys a question. We're gonna touch on that. So off camera, off the podcast, you were gonna bring up mental health. I have a question for y'all. What are your thoughts in terms of mental health in education? Because it seems like, I'd say, maybe the start or towards the end of 2016, early 2017, mental health started to become really popular. You know what I mean? Like it started to become like a pop word, basically. And so I'm just kind of wondering for y'all, being in education and talking about African American children, where do you think we're at there? Does that question make sense?
Yeah.
Where do you think we're at?
Yeah.
Well, just so I'm in the high school, but it's kind of like, I'm not trying to explain it. It's like we got work to do. You know what I mean? As far as like accommodating those kids, and as far as like the help aspect of it, like I think we wait too late. I think something got to happen for us to react. You know, when we should be like proactive and not reactive.
Yeah, we're not preventive. We're reactive.
Yeah.
We act because we see a kid go down the drain
And it's
in
like,
the
man, you
mental
saw
health
this
way.
shit boiling. Like it's been
happening.
like, they just lost their shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, why? How can we help them prior to that? You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing about it, because you know it's a lot. These kids go through a lot, man. Like a lot, and it's like they do need somebody to talk to. They do need people to, you know, just be there for them. And you know, we have to, and as teachers, man, that's all. Like that's really, we see. As a teacher, you probably see some kids more than they see like the people that they live with. You know, like as far as for me for coaching, bro, I'm at the school at least 10 hours a day. You know, and it's like you just gotta, you know, we have to we can't wait. We can't keep waiting for shit to happen. We can't keep waiting for these kids to have episodes. We gotta, like when you see something, just jump right into it.
Have an active urgency.
Urgency. Yeah, we gotta have more of that, and I don't think it's there right now.
I personally think that we don't. We need. So I think one of the ratio of social workers or counselors per kid is disproportionate and not even enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
there's
let's start with that.
One, maybe two.
So each grade, I have 600 and something seventh graders. Each grade has about 600 and something kids. We have one counselor for all of them.
No.
We have one social worker in our building. We have a company that comes in with 2 therapists that is supposed to service all of our 1,800 kids.
Yeah. Since you bring that up, how often do kids actually go to these sort of resources?
That's the thing. So some families know that we have it. Some families don't even know we have it. So it becomes that part where a family would have been struggling for months until things hit the fan, like Eric is saying. It's when we start saying, these are all the resources that we have.
Right.
In the beginning of the school year, we say that to families when we introduce them. We do. Let's take, for example, our black families. How many of them can get off work to come to that orientation in the beginning to actually hear that?
Right.
Yeah.
Times that orientations are held is not proportionate at all.
Hi,
So-
Gigi.
It was nice having you. It's not proportionate at all for people to actually hear or understand what we're doing. The good part about that now is we have technology where you can record that stuff and put it on YouTube or send it to the parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other piece is like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, they were talking about putting marriage and family therapists in every building in the schools. Never manufactured into something sincere or serious. The reason why I say marriage and family therapists is because these people, one of my favorite parts as to why now I'm going back and getting my license in the state is that when I was in Northeast Middle School, it's like I would meet with the kids during school days. We'll have our session there. And then after we're done, I insisted on having a family session with every kid on my caseload. My session was not just for the kid. I wanted to see, I saw you at school, can I see you at home? And that was the part that tripped a lot of families. Well, I thought it helped us for him. It's like, it's for everybody.
Right.
But if you don't know what's bothering him and he's only telling me and he can find a way to tell you, you're not going to support it.
Yeah, you can't just throw a kid into some situation and be like, okay, solve this problem.
Right.
You're in it together. It's a collaborative effort.
And the problem normally manufactured from your environment. So I'm sorry. So after a month of sessions with some families is when we finally start getting into. I had a kid who literally told his grandma, it's like, every time I leave for school, you say, don't cause no trouble, don't be bad. It's like, I wake up sometimes and that's not even in my mind. He said, but the moment I'm working out and you say that, it comes in my mind, like, then I'm trying to be so careful, and then, of course, boom, I blow up. And it's like, he's like, can you just stop saying that? It's like, the day, 1 or 2 days when you never say that, you never get a call from nobody.
Right.
It's like the moment you say, you bring it to my mind. It's like, kids are able to communicate without parents feeling like disrespected and all that stuff. Plus, how do I say this? Like, we have kids who are on the spectrum and all this stuff. I think unless you severely have a mental health issue, you fall through the cracks within the school department. That's what the problem is. You have to have a diagnosis. You have to, and on the DSM-5, the diagnosis of adjustment disorder is there already. What if a kid is struggling to adjust from elementary school to middle school? It's a bigger building. You went from sitting in one class all day with that one teacher. Now you're going into 6 or 7 different rooms.
Bigger classroom as well.
Bigger classrooms,
school.
different kids. It's like, but we, like he was saying, things have to hit the fan. Like a kid has to have an episode. A kid has to stop doing their work and failing all their classes, not showing up to school before we start rendering help. Like, how about we make a boys and girls group available to them randomly to like actually go along, just for them to get to know each other. Social ways to accommodate them. How about we teach them social ways to live their life? How about we have conversations about things like what do you do when you get home by yourself? When you're by yourself until your parents get home? What do you do on your weekends? On Mondays, I spend most of my Mondays asking kids, how was your weekend? And then they'll be like, fine. It don't stop there for me. It's like, oh, what did you do?
Yeah.
Right.
What was fine about it? Well, what did you not do? Was there something you wanted to do that you didn't get to do? If you're willing to share with me, why didn't you do it? And it's like conversations like that. It's like we are so remoted to like, how was your day? Good. And then we all just keep keep moving. Like, you say good.
Sure.
That's not asking somebody how they were doing and really getting the right answer. You're getting the robot answer of fine. So we are behind mentally in the schools, but I feel like in society it's all large. Mental health is behind. Period. So the school is where we should start it first. Normalize therapy sessions. Normalize asking for help, and normalize not shaming people when they have mental health issues. Then we'll see progress. But kids make fun of each other saying, "Oh, you weak, you got a therapist." It's like,
yeah, it's funny how we talk about, or how society is now coming back to psychology, because psychology has been around for a little over 100 years now, just a smidge, but now it's starting to come into like pop culture and stuff, and we're now focusing on mental health. But the thing is, to the masses, in my opinion, people don't really know what that is.
Yeah.
Like you could say psychology, and the first thing that someone thinks is either like Sigmund Freud, somebody sits on a chair
on the couch and
Yeah.
they have a conversation with the other person.
and think about the problems. That's only one part of it.
That's not even the iceberg of what it is.
That's
Like
fine.
not even the
It's there's so many different types of psychology. There are different ways to even talk to people or even approach mental health. Like if someone actually has a disorder, DID, right? You don't go to someone who's talking about feelings. You don't go to someone who's just doing talk therapy. You need to go to a clinical psychologist to break that down. What's going on? What's going on up here?
Right.
Clearly your brain isn't wired the same as the average human being.
Yep.
So.
But the other piece to this, like people think once you go to the first therapist, that's your therapist.
Yeah,
they don't
and that's
understand
it.
that you can shop for therapists like you shop for everything. When you want your car insurance, you call and find the best rate. When you want a therapist, you want somebody that can actually understand you, listen to you. You have to click with that person.
Right.
But people, I think the notion of you call this therapist, that's your therapist, is so heavy that people forget that you can shop for this.
Okay, so I'm just turn this again. So that is a problem in our community as Black people.
We don't trust the medical system.
Oh, dude.
I had this assignment where I had to like do this research, and it's like you think about it, when you go to the dentist or a doctor, what are you more comfortable with as a Black person? Another black
person,
in
yeah.
that field, right?
Representation.
And like, why is that? You know what I mean?
Because it's one of us.
Because we trust. Because you know, a lot of people really are scared to go to the dentist, and it's
to go to the hospital, period.
Go to the hospital, period, because you know what I mean. Like they feel like they're not going to be taken care of unless it's by.
There's a statistics that came out too, though.
We'll be taken more care of by like somebody that looked like us would take more care of us.
The number of African American moms who are dying when they're pregnant, Black women who die during pregnancy or giving birth, goes down when their doctor is Black. It's high as fuck when their doctor is white still, compared to their white counterparts. So even in 2021, like people just don't trust the medical field.
Yeah.
Yes, like, and I don't blame Black folks for not trusting. What is the syphilis? What's it called?
Oh,
the Tuskegee Experiments.
I'm saying that wrong. Sorry.
Man, if a lot of people know about the Tuskegee Experiments by now, but like that's when the government infected over 400 or 500 Black men with syphilis, and then did not deny them cure. Like even when they went to other doctors to get cure for the syphilis, they told the doctors not to treat them. So when you see, this was an opera that you heard about too, when black people are like, hell no, I ain't taking the COVID vaccine. Like, I don't know what's in there. What if they're trying to do something to me? It's not all crazy. It came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Something happened before that makes people don't want to trust it.
Yeah.
Outside of, the black community, Native Americans are really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They are very closed off because they were fucked over so bad.
They still have their own community right now. They have their own police. They do all that stuff because, again, they don't trust you. Like, they don't trust us as a society even.
And it's fucked up because they're going through it. Like, we have, like, in our community, we have issues. Over there, shit is not good.
And because of the pride, and they want to let us know that they can survive. No man is an island, and because of how much you've been treated that way, they won't even come out and ask for help when they need it. Yeah. Because they don't trust it. Of every help that they've gotten, something was attached to it. We'll take one of your casinos. We'll do there's something that was attached to the help that you so-called was rendering them. Right. So I don't blame like
we get it.
Yeah.
But
look,
it's tough. It's tough.
The conversation has to be hard. It's crazy all across the board. But mental health will be the first start of a lot of the mess. First one was treating people right will be the first start. Yeah. And then actually caring about their mental state and mental status. As an African man, when I talk about mental health, I swear to God, you see my African people, we don't share nothing, we don't talk about nothing, we don't talk about nothing to strangers. Yeah. It's like,
okay, so I'm working with the county right now for social services. For those of you who don't know, I'm in social services, by the way. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. But they have a mission statement in their building, and I saw it, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It says, our mission is to provide necessary resources to individuals and families that assure basic health, safety, and human needs are met. And they have a list of other things, but that one right there, it just hit me. It's like, how can me, as someone who's in psychology, trying to understand you as a person, see where you're at mentally, how can I talk to you about that if your basic needs aren't even met?
Right. Transfer that to education. Yeah. How can a kid go to school, pay attention, and learn if I'm coming in, let's say the last time I ate was during lunchtime, that last week when I was in school, that was my last meal. Okay, that's one. Our electricity is out. We have so many homeless kids, like, even during the Zoom. That's why I'm appreciative of Google, Zoom, and all of you for creating the background for kids. Yeah. That helped tremendously. You guys may not even understand how much help that was. But how does a kid want to learn when their everyday needs are not met? Yeah. Like, basically, I think if our everyday needs were met, mental health would be a lot calmer. But if I can't even meet my basic needs, good luck. Right.
Basic needs need to be met.
Basic needs. And everybody's basic needs are different, but the universal one is people need food, water, place to lay their head. Yeah. After all this is done, with all the people without jobs, I am scared to see how many homeless situations we're gonna have in the summer. Like, people are behind on rent and they're talking about we will hold off on your rents for a couple of months. It's like you're missing the point. Yeah, like you're missing the whole point of we need support. So you give us $600 or $1,200 and then $600 and then I'm behind 6 months. Yeah. And then by the time I get a job, I will never be ahead because I'm still playing catch up. Right. Yeah.
All right, okay.
It's deeper. It's deeper. It's deeper than just one solution.
These are tough problems. It's very, very tough. But that's the point of having these conversations. That's the point of this podcast.
That's the point of hearing the people different from you. Yeah. They get to tell you how they feel. I appreciate you brothers for having me, man. This was cool. This was dope. This was dope. I got to drink some whiskey and talk at the same time. Come on, man.
This was dope. Yeah.
They took the bar away from us, but I'm still at the bar right now. You just don't know.
Facts. Big facts.
Oh, this was cool, man. This was cool.
I guess it's last call.
Last call.
Holy shit, man. We've talked about so much stuff.
Yeah.
Some more heavy stuff.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
For those of y'all who don't know, I've mentioned this time and time again, but these are the conversations that we've had for a very long time.
I think that's what birthed this podcast.
Yeah.
Thought of this podcast is because we have these conversations. Yeah.
I can't remember one time I kicked it with Ro where we didn't end up in a deep old conversation. We'll be at the bar and we separate from everybody and we just like, brother, I know. And we're like,
dude.
Man, we've had so many mental health conversations.
Yeah.
Because we're both in that field. And me and Eric we just talk about how we bounce ideas, how we can help our kids.
How can we help these kids, man?
It's all about it. It's like, and I think teamwork. Like, I watched a graduation video from one of our partner schools, senior high, Maple Grove Middle School, where one of the kids gave an African girl from Liberia gave what's it called, the speech where somebody
The valedictorian.
valedictorian.
Oh,
She had a really, really dope valedictorian message that she sent out where she thanked all her communities for branching together and making sure that she saw that day. And as we read that statistics, if we want to understand how we can take care of that, it's right in that conversation of can all the communities come together for the greater good, which is our kids.
Yeah.
And if we could do that, we'll be good.
That's the question right there.
Can all the communities come together?
Right.
That's what thank you for having me. That's what I'm leaving you out.
That's the final thought right there.
That's my final thought. If all our communities can come together, amen.
Take us home.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. That was episode 8.
Yeah.
Episode 8. That was a great one, man. Ready for this?
Yeah. This is officially our first guest.
Yeah. So thank you, Nate, for hopping on.
You opened the door.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
This was a cool conversation. This is a cool conversation.
Keep preaching to them, man. I appreciate you guys. Keep preaching to them.
Probably have you on again.
Until next time. Until next time, we out.
We out.